Hey, this is Mark from the Phoenix-based band GOMI. I'm going to give you a tour of our studio here. This is where we practice. Yeah, so here we go.
Okay, here we go. This is our practice space. This is where we rehearse. We write songs, we practice, and do all that fun stuff. We have 24-hour access. We can play as long as we want, as loud as we want. And we share it with a band called Stone Mason. And they're a southern metal band, and the drummer is actually Sean's brother. So we just share the space with them. It's fairly large. We have a couch, refrigerator, full PA. Plenty of room for Slade to do his rock squats and all that good stuff. So that's pretty much it. Okay, what we're looking at now is Sean's practice set of cymbals. As you can see, they're broken and destroyed and shredded because he hits like a beast. And running joke around here is you never know what you're going to get hit with, whether it's a broken stick or shrapnel from one of these cymbals. And it's kind of dangerous for me because I stand right next to him and I'm always getting hit with something. But anyways, he has a practice set and he has a live set, and that way he doesn't have to always replace his cymbals because they're very expensive. Okay, so this is Slade's bass rig. He plays through David Eden heads and cabs. Although right here we're seeing his vintage Sun cabs. He has two of them. It's pretty much what he plays out with live. He's a tone freak and he's an EQ freak, so he likes to have total control over his sound, and it's a good bass tone. This will be my pedal board. I have some boutique custom pedals on here. I have my Real McCoy RMC3 wah pedal, my Cattle & Bred tube driver, and my Cattle & Bred Super Overdrive distortion box, which I use for leads. And my tube driver pedal makes my amp sound like it was on 10 for that pure tube driven distortion. There's no way I can get my amp up that loud at some of the places we play, so that pedal is very useful. Also, I have the Small Stone Nano flange pedal that I can, or the phaser pedal, sorry, that I can get those flangey tones with. The chromatic tuner, and also a noise suppressor. This is my main guitar. This is my Les Paul Classic from the 80s. Now onto my amp setup. This is my Mad Amp Green GTL 140 half stack. It's a master volume amp. It's based off of the 70s orange spec, and these are custom built, handmade from Huddersfield, England. Per order. It took me almost a year to get these. I bought two half stacks at the time, and they're a tribute to David Green, who built these amps. And orange came after Mad Amp. Mad Amp was the original makers of the orange amps, so these came first. And great amplifiers. A lot of people compliment me on my tone, and just beastly, that pure tube-driven tone.
How
So people are always asking us how to pronounce the name of the band and where it came from, and so I'll give you a little story on the background of our band name. It's pronounced GOMI. It's Japanese. It's actually the last name of a mixed martial arts fighter named Takanori Gomi. And Sean and I are big mixed martial arts fans, and we love the sport. And I personally always followed the career of Takanori Gomi over in the Pride organization. So when we were looking for names, to name our band back when we were a two-piece, that was on my list. And I was always drawing up the names with the font that's on my amplifiers, and that GOMI just looked cool, and it just really worked well. But we took the list of names and we asked people, we took it to bars, asked our friends and family what they thought, and that name just always stuck out. People asked questions about it and wanted to know what it was, so it became a no-brainer that we would end up going with that one, and we eventually settled on it. So I got to work and I started making up a bunch of logos and designs and artwork for the band. I know the name also means a few other things in Japanese. I believe it stands for rubbish or trash, and it's also a name of a lesser-known monster in the Godzilla stories. Yeah, brief history of the band. Back in the late 90s, I was in some punk rock bands and back in Ohio, and that stuff fell through, and I moved out here to Phoenix. I didn't play for a while, had some injuries, and I just kind of retired from the music biz, I guess. But I got the itch again, and a friend of mine decided we were going to start a band and do some garage punk stuff, and we actually met Sean through MySpace. And we played for a little bit, and that kind of fell apart and dissolved. And so Sean and I decided that we were going to move on and just do my stuff, my older material that I never really got to play out. And it fit really well. We both are influenced by that grungy type of material. And we played together for about half a year just as a two-piece, and we couldn't find a bass player forever. And his brother actually was filling in for us on the bass, and he actually played our very first show at the Big Fish Pub with us. And for a few months later, we kept trying out bass players, and actually Slade was the very last guy we tried out. And we asked him that night if he wanted to play with us, and he said yes. And so ever since then, we've been kind of on a roll. We've just been playing solid and writing music, new music, and just doing our thing. And we like to play music, and we all enjoy each other. We have a good time, and that's pretty much what it's all about. So anyways, hope you like this little video we put together, and now you know a little bit of our history and what we're about, and there you go.
Say yeah, yeah, say yeah, yeah, say yeah, yeah, let you live with me. Say yeah, yeah.